Good afternoon. This week's Parashat concludes Sefer Vayikra. We end the book of Leviticus. And in this ending Parashat, this final section of Sefer Vayikra, we encounter the Tochacha, the first of the Torah's terrible, frightening rebukes in which horrific destruction and punishment and suffering is described. And this Parashat always occurs before Shavuot, at least one Shabbat prior to Shavuot. This is an expression of the rabbinic ethos of Techele Shana V'Klalotea. Let the year end with all of its curses before the new year can begin. Shavuot is also the new year for the fruits of the trees, Chag HaBikurim, and we want to get the curses out of the way before we can fully embrace this new year experience. We find this again, that the second occurrence of a tochacha, of a extended a description of punishment and suffering and destruction in the Torah is in Parashat Ki Tavo, which always occurs at least 1 week prior, one Shabbat prior to Rosh Hashanah, what we call Rosh Hashanah, okay, in Tishrei. And so in this way, we grapple with and we encounter and we listen to and experience the frightening description in the Torah of a society undone, of suffering beyond boundaries, of parents eating children, of total destruction. And we have a chance to hear those words of warning and words of rebuke, but not allow them to kind of weigh on us into the new year. Okay, we have to hear them. They're in the Torah, but we don't want to take them with us into the coming year. So this has been a very heavy week for I think all of us. For me, it's been a very heavy week. The news out of Texas has weighed on me in a hard way. I'm sure on many of you in a very hard way. And hearing the Tochacha this Shabbat is not going to be a respite from that hardness. But I think there is a wisdom expressed, a psychological wisdom at least, in that ethos of Techele Shana V'Klalotea, that we can absorb these words and depictions and descriptions of destruction and suffering, and then take a breath, and then move on to celebrate better things and newer things in the coming year. Of course, the Torah is not meant just to be listened to, okay? The Torah is meant to be heeded, okay? And it's not enough to feel sad and, process that sadness and then move on. The goal is to pivot and respond and to act differently to avoid the destruction and punishment that's promised in the Tochacha. And I think that's of course also true. We need to watch out for our psychological health and not allow doom scrolling hour after hour is not healthy and not productive. But something productive has to be done. We have to take our sadness and do something with us. Take our anger and do something with it. Take our resolve and channel it someplace productive and positive, and maybe that's also a meaning of Techele Shana V'Klalotea. Let the old year end and its curses, that the new year can be different. Not different because we waited a week and we hope for a better new year. No, the new year is different because we're going to be different. We'll take steps collectively and individually to make the new year better and different. And let's pray for that, and let's act towards that. Wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you over the coming days in Shul. Lots of really wonderful opportunities to pray together and learn together and enjoy one another's company in the coming days.